Hi. Unfortunately, my bulb's been blown, so I can't do the usual sort of style. You're just going to deal with this sort of mood and me using a flashlight as an additional light source. In fact, I can actually prove that bulb's not working. I don't really know why I needed to do that. Just felt like I should just prove that it's not bloody working. Anyways. So I've actually been doing really good when it comes to watching new films that's been released this year. So far, and I'm recording this on Saturday because I have a feeling I'm going to watch another film either tonight or tomorrow. So far, I've actually managed to watch like four films that came out this year so far, and that's probably a record holder for me. I don't really need to elaborate why, but yeah. And I've watched a lot of films this week. A lot of films that I've really enjoyed so far, and some that I haven't. But it's a nice variety of things that it'll just get me to start talking about it, I guess. No need to hold this out. Let's just get onto it. First film, Captain America: Brave New World. I've been hesitating to watch this for quite a while now. I did not want to watch this even at the beginning of the year when it was being released into theatres and the trailers were being promoted and all that. It just didn't interest me. Even before, when I saw the reviews on Letterboxd and on Rotten Tomatoes, it didn't appeal to me simply because I have little to no faith with Disney and Marvel anymore. And this only adds to my already dwindling faith in that. I mean, it's not the worst film in the world, and it's not the worst film in the MCU, not by a landslide. And it's not even the worst film post-Endgame. I can think of a number of other films that are much worse than this, but it frustrates me because it's coming off the legacy of Captain America and what should have been a good film with a good idea. I mean, with the film exploring Thaddeus Ross a lot more and his struggles with him now becoming president and him wanting to become a better man to prove his daughter wrong, was also leading off of good with left standing plot points from the Incredible Hulk and the Eternals. That was something I was interested in. And with a whole new introduction to adamantium, which will obviously probably be getting Wolverine very soon, it had something interesting going on. But the fact that what we got is just nothing interesting, it's just another average Marvel film now, that's not something good. That's not anything good. I mean, I likes Sam Wilson in this enough, even though he's not the most compelling thing, and he's just going off of what was left off of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I myself did not think it was anything interesting. But quite frankly, it's just not good. It's just not good. I mean, some of the characters were interesting enough. I was most interested in Thaddeus Ross, and of course they baited us with not including Red Hulk till the very end. That's not a good sign. You shouldn't be baiting us for stuff like that. Yeah. It's not anything interesting, and I would soon rather forget it than remember it. When it comes to classic children's authors, or authors of children's books, none of them quite hold a special place in my heart as Roald Dahl. His books are so incredible. A lot of them I have read. They mean so much to me. And the biggest ones were Fantastic Mr. Fox, which the Wes Anderson adaptation of that is very incredible, but the book is better. I stand by that decision forever. And the Twits. I loved the Twits. It was so good. It is one of my favorite books from Roald Dahl, and quite frankly, I was surprised, but now thinking about it, thankful that it never got a adaptation until now, which I am very much not happy with. The adaptation of the Twits that came out this year on Netflix, it's not good. Quite frankly, it is just a bunch of absurd, no-nonsensical humor that is not funny to begin with a bunch of crude comedy, a lot of farts and burps and all that, and it just didn't make me happy whatsoever. It, quite frankly, it made me feel sick a lot of the time. Yeah, the story is not that interesting. I mean, it's just an Annie retelling, except the orphanage person is a nice guy, and the entire town is a bunch of idiots. There's not really anything interesting with this film. I'd very much recommend you to not watch this, not whatsoever. It is a very poorly done adaptation with characters who are quite frankly not interesting in the slightest, with with designs that are absolutely ugly and animation that feels pathetic. This all feels just very pathetic, and I'd rather soon forget this than anything otherwise. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Do a little rapid fire round. First things, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. Pirates of the Caribbean is my favorite film franchise of all time, and Dead Man's Chest is my favorite of the franchise. It has so much incredible moments, from epic action sequences to incredibly well done character moments to the whole shebang. Everything just felt so incredible and so right as well. And obviously the highlights are Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow, Captain Jack Sparrow, excuse me, and just his incredible performance that defines a generation, which quite frankly is the most iconic role of the entire century of an original character. Sure, Heath Ledger's Joker is as iconic, but Johnny Depp is doing an original character, and he's definitely the most iconic original character of the century. No adaptations, no whatsoever. He has that staying power, and he proved it from his incredible performance. Yeah, and obviously Davy Jones, one of the best villains in all of film history, including this century's history. It's just so good. I love his design. I love his voice and his acting by Bill Nye. He's so incredibly well done, and just everything about him feels intimidating. And the rest of the film is incredible as well. Like I said, incredible action, incredible stakes, and incredible music by Hans Zimmer. What isn't there to love? Next is Sydney White. I only just realized after scrolling through the Letterboxd comments that I realized this is a modern day college adaptation on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which is weird. I mean, this was really sweet, actually. I really enjoyed this. It has a nice message of accepting others and not letting superficial people walk all over you. It's really good. I like the relationship that Sydney forms with the seven dorks, and her romance with generic hot guy is sweet enough. I found it all very interesting and very sweet. And the ending is definitely the best part, where everyone proclaiming they're a bunch of dorks. That was very sweet. Sure, it might not be high quality, but I enjoyed this a lot more than any other cheesy rom-com film that I've watched so far in my entire life. It's definitely a very sweet film. There is just something about Tim Burton films that is uniquely Tim Burton, that you know is Tim Burton. And none of these films hold a candle to Edward Scissorhands. So it is so hauntingly beautiful, yet at the same time tragic. Just the way with Edward feeling like an outcast even when he's accepted in society, and feeling ostracized, especially when they're demonizing for things that he didn't intentionally do. It's so heartbreaking to think about, and you just want him to live the best life. It's so upsetting and so tragic at the same time. Everything about this film is well made, well structured. The environment, the style, set designs and the costuming, especially the makeup and prosthetics done for Edward. It's just so good. The acting is incredible, and I really bought the relationship between Edward and Kim. It was just so sweet to see. Yeah, it's all just sweet, and you just wish for Edward to live a better life than he's currently doing. And quite frankly, him gaining that ending, whilst it's sad, but it's sweet. It's a bittersweet ending. It's really good. Honestly, it's really good. All of these films so far, except for the first two, are really good, and I just cannot sing my praises enough for Edward Scissorhands. It's really good. Wedding Crashers. Aside from the sexual assault jokes, which are not my cup of tea, even though I did find a couple of those moments a bit funny, but even then I wasn't that pleased that it was happening. It's a good film. I really enjoyed it. I like the relationships that the two crashers form with two sisters, even though one of them really needs couples counseling. I'm talking about the sexual assaulters. Oh god, it's difficult to talk about stuff like that. And I'm definitely going to have to give a warning before this and in the description as well. Yeah, but yeah, it's all good. It's a lot of fun, and it's very sweet as well, with the relationships forming between Owen Wilson and Rachel McAdams' character. I found those very sweet. And Vince Vaughn and Isla Fisher, I thought they were fine together. Yeah. Christopher Walken's in this, I guess. That's interesting. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. Sometimes I just can't find the words that I want to talk about when it comes to films, but sometimes you just need to say, I enjoyed it, and that's enough. Next is Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time. I'm going to give you one little sentence. The prince jumps out the window for Cinderella. That's cinema, baby. Absolute cinema. But other than that, it's a really well made story. I like the time travel aspect, as well as giving Anastasia a proper redemption that was first set up in the sequel. Even though I would have liked for the baker to be introduced to this to further separate her superficial desire to be with the prince, whilst her growing bond with the baker is much more expanded on. That's something we all wish to happen, let's be honest. And yeah, I definitely think that my favorite part is when Anastasia is talking with the king, and how she reminds him a lot of the queen, and just him giving that seashell is just so sweet to see. All that paired with just really well done animation, really well timed jokes and all that, as well as a really good score. It just makes the whole thing really well done. And I really liked Cinderella being this more optimistic and stronger character than she ever was in the original, as well as in the sequel. She has a lot more agency and desire to be with the prince. She's the type of strong female character I want, where she's going after her goals, but it's not any superficial or any stupid reason like in modern day films and all that. She's after her man, god damn it. Yeah, she's strong female character and she wants her man. I had to respect that woman right there. But yeah, all in all, it's just a really, really good Disney direct-to-video sequel. Everyone loves this. What more could you want from me? Let's be honest. The third 2025 film I've watched this year is, well, for this week anyways, is The Woman in Cabin 10. It's fine, I guess. I mean, it's a fine enough film. I didn't think it was terrible, but it's just not anything interesting. It feels predictable at times, and even when I was shocked by the reveals and all that, I just would have liked something a lot more. It's on Netflix if you want to see it. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it unless you want to go watch it, then go watch it. But yeah, it's just fine. Yes, that's all I can ever give it. Just fine. This is the film I've been most hyped about, aside from The Running Man and Predator Badlands, since it was announced, or the trailer at least. Frankenstein. I knew the second it was released that if I don't watch it, I wouldn't have ever watched it. And I'm so glad I did. This is my favorite film of the year so far. I'm hoping that The Running Man or Predator Badlands will change my mind, but so far, it's Frankenstein. That's my favorite film of the year. Guillermo del Toro, you've done it again. You blew me out of the park. Pan's Labyrinth is one of my favorite films of all time. And Pinocchio is my favorite animated film of 2022. It's not my favorite film because that honor goes to Top Gun Maverick. Another one of my favorite films of all time. Yeah, and I knew that this was going to be something great. Yeah, he hasn't disappointed me so far, even though I haven't watched The Shape of Water or any of his other films like Nightmare Alley, or even Blade 2, I believe. I think he did direct Blade 2. Yeah, but so far he has not disappointed me whatsoever. All the films I've watched of him, 10s out of 10s. I mean that. And Frankenstein is enough to say. I love the way that the whole film is structured, and how it's more accurate to the source material than the Boris Karloff film ever was. You feel the dynamic between the creator and the creation. The whole thing is just so well shot, so well told, and the whole thing feels hauntingly beautiful. I was invested in Victor Frankenstein's story throughout, how he feels like a madman drawn by ambition and desire to not let nature and creation itself dictate his own path, with him playing God and him regretting it as well. But absolutely, I was most invested in the creature's story. It was so well made and so well told. You can tell which side of the story that Del Toro is more invested in when it comes to making them more sympathetic. Sure, Frankenstein is a lot more crazy in this than he ever was in the book. And I'm saying that as someone who has not read the book, but from what I've heard, that's the case. But here, you definitely know that he wanted to tell the creature's tale much more than the creator's tale. And you just feel for the creature. You just feel for him every step of the way, and you want him to be happier, to live, even though he cannot die, feeling that that's a part of life that he will never have. And all of this can truly just be summed up with one thing. I only paused this once, and that was to stop my dog from barking. And when I paused it and saw there was 30 minutes left, after thinking I had an hour and a half left, that's enough to say that this is my favorite film of the year. I was so invested that I thought I was only halfway through, and yet there was 30 minutes yet left. How do you do that, Del Toro? How do you do that? Honestly, how do you do that? But yeah, honestly, there's not really much else I can say other than he's done it again. It's so well. The final thing I can say is the set designs is so well made. The costumings are all beautiful. And the creature's design is incredible. With all the special effects and makeup is done on Jacob Elordi. It was so well done. And the acting is incredible. Oscar Isaac really impressed me with his craziness and his ambition to the character, and the character's ambition and craziness as well. And Jacob Elordi, I was skeptical when I saw Jacob Elordi was going to be playing the creature. I didn't think he was going to pull this off. But the second I heard him shout Victor, and his movements and action paired with the incredible costume design, he won me over. Especially during the creature's tale. Del Toro, you've done it again. I don't care if I've been talking about this film for 5 minutes. I will gladly do a separate video talking about this film for 10 minutes, though I will have to plan this out a lot more. In fact, no, I'm going to do that. Once I release this video onto YouTube, I'm going to make my own separate video talking about how incredible Frankenstein is. And if not, that's a shame on me. But yeah, I'll leave it off with, I truly, truly hope that this film, if maybe not getting Best Picture, unfortunately, if it won't get Best Picture, I want Elordi to be nominated for Best Supporting Actor, because obviously Best Actor would go to Oscar Isaac for nomination, because Frankenstein is the main character, the creature is the second main character. It's not fair, but still. But yeah, I want Elordi to be nominated for Best Supporting Actor, Isaac to be nominated for Best Actor, Del Toro to be nominated for Best Director, and this film to be awarded for Best Makeup and Best Special Effects and Best Set Design. Best everything. I want this to win Best Picture. I don't care. If it doesn't, please, this film deserves to be nominated. At the very least, Elordi and the makeup design. Please, those ones at the very least. My face is crazy. I want that so badly. So yeah, I think that's enough to say. Almost 7 minutes. I talked about Frankenstein, and I'll gladly talk about it for another 15. End this video off, let's give the ratings and all that. Captain America Brave New World, a 5 out of 10. The Twits, a 4 out of 10. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, a 10 out of 10. Sydney White, an 8 out of 10. Edward Scissorhands, a 9 out of 10. Wedding Crashers, an 8 out of 10. Cinderella 3, a Twist in Time, a 9 out of 10. The Women in Cabin 10, a 6 out of 10. Frankenstein, a 10 out of 10. Well, that's pretty much it, I guess. So yeah, there was a lot of films this week, and I'm glad I watched all of these. They were entertaining enough, except for the ones that weren't. So yeah. So that's pretty much the end of today's video, everyone. Please leave me some comments down below of what you thought of all these films, if you have watched them all. As well as give me some comments down below on what films I should watch next. And to see if this video changes at all, please leave a like and subscribe if you're new, so that way my videos will be able to be projected into the algorithm to see if more people will actually try to watch them. Anyways, that's the end of today's video, everyone. I want to say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all later. Have a good one.